Welcome to Breakup Cheater, where every story peels back the curtain on love, betrayal, and the darkest corners of the human heart. Tonight, we step into a world where trust shatters with a single glance, and the truth hides behind closed doors. Settle in. This is one story you won't forget. I knew something was wrong the moment I stepped inside. The house was too quiet. Not the kind of peaceful quiet after a long day. This was the kind of silence that felt deliberate, almost staged. Her shoes were by the door, her bag was on the counter, but she wasn't there. "Emily!" I called, forcing a lightness into my voice that didn't match the way my chest was tightening. No answer. I dropped my keys into the bowl by the door and stood there for a moment, listening. There was a faint sound upstairs, muffled movement, a whisper of something. I climbed the stairs slowly, each creak of the steps sounding louder than it should. The bedroom door was closed. That door is never closed. I pushed it open and there she was. Sitting on the edge of the bed, hair damp as if she'd just showered. Her phone clutched tightly in her hands. She looked up at me with wide, hollow eyes. Eyes full of something between fear and despair. "Mark," she said, her voice cracking. Froze. Her expression told me more than words ever could. Something had happened. Something she didn't want me to know. "What's going on?" I asked quietly. She shook her head too quickly. "Nothing, I was just thinking." At 7:30 p.m., with the door shut, the lights dim, and her hands trembling like she'd seen a ghost, I stepped closer, scanning the room. The sheets were slightly rumpled. Her perfume lingered heavier than usual. And then I noticed his watch. A man's watch sitting on the nightstand. Not mine. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. My stomach already knew what my mind refused to say. "Who was here?" I asked, my voice barely more than a whisper. Her lips parted, and for a moment I thought she might lie. She always used to be good at covering things. Little white lies about where she'd been, who she'd talked to. But this time she didn't even try. She looked down and that was enough. "It's not what you think," she murmured. God, I hate that sentence. It's never true. "Then what is it?" I asked, my voice rising despite the lump forming in my throat. "Because from where I'm standing, Emily, it looks exactly like what I think it is." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I didn't feel sorry for her. Not yet. Not when the air still smelled of someone else. I didn't plan for this," she whispered. "It just happened." That was the moment the floor dropped out from under me. 4 years of marriage. 8 years together. We met in college, for God's sake. We built everything side by side. Our home, our routines, our little traditions. And now it just happened. "With who?" I asked, my voice cold. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. "Someone from work," she finally said. "Ethan." I laughed, but it came out broken. "Ethan. The one you said was just a friend." She flinched. "Emily," I said, and my voice was shaking now. Not with rage, but with something far worse. "Was it here? In our bed?" She covered her face with her hands. Her silence was the answer I never wanted. I turned away, pacing because if I stood still I might break. My hands clenched and unclenched, my mind replaying every moment over the past few months. The late nights at the office, the sudden bursts of guilt-driven affection, the way she'd started locking her phone. I'd known. Deep down I'd known. "Why?" I finally asked, turning back to her. "Was I not enough? Was our life not enough?" She looked up at me, tears streaming now. "You are enough, Mark. It's me. I don't even know what's wrong with me." Felt invisible. And he noticed me. Invisible. The word hit me harder than the betrayal itself. I had worked double shifts to pay off our mortgage early, surprised her with weekend getaways, learned how to cook her favorite meals just because. And she felt invisible. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw that watch out the window. I wanted to shake her until she understood what she'd done. But I didn't. Instead, I sat down in the chair by the dresser, my whole body suddenly heavy. "So what now?" I asked. She wiped her cheeks with her sleeve like a child caught stealing. I ended it, she said. I swear. Tonight was him trying to say goodbye. Here. Snap. He came here to say goodbye. To our home. She didn't answer. The clock on the nightstand ticked. I stared at it, thinking how time is merciless. One moment you're fine. Laughing, planning a future. The next, you're sitting in the ruins of something you thought was solid. I can't do this, I said finally, standing up. Mark, please. She reached out, but I stepped back. I need air, I muttered, grabbing my jacket. Outside, the night was cool and quiet. I walked without a destination, past the grocery store where we used to shop together, past the little cafe where we'd shared our first coffee. My mind was a storm. Anger, heartbreak, a pathetic strand of hope trying to convince me this could somehow be fixed. But every image of her with him, his hands on her, his watch left behind like a mark, burned that hope down. I didn't go home that night. I slept in my car by the lake, staring at the ceiling until the sun rose. The next day I didn't shout. I didn't smash anything. Called a lawyer. When I returned home, she was at the kitchen table, pale, hollow-eyed, waiting for me. I know what you're going to do, she said softly. Do you? Yes. She nodded. Divorce. I didn't answer. I just handed her the papers a week later. She cried, she begged. She promised it was a mistake she'd regret forever. But a mistake is burning dinner. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. What she did was a choice. The months that followed were a blur of legal forms and cold mornings. Friends took sides. Some said I should forgive her, that people make mistakes. Others said I should ruin her, take everything. Chose neither. I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace. When the divorce was finalized, she moved out quietly. Left her keys on the counter, sent me one last text that said, I'll always love you. I didn't reply. Because love doesn't sneak into your bed wearing someone else's watch. A year has passed since that night. I live in a smaller place now, closer to the city. I've started running again, reading again, even dating, slowly, carefully. The scars are still there, but they don't throb as much. Sometimes I wonder if I could have fought harder, forgiven sooner, tried therapy, tried something. But then I remember the look in her eyes that night. Despair, yes, but not because she was losing me. It was because she'd been caught. And that, I think, is the cruelest part of betrayal. It's not just that they broke your heart. It's that they let you believe it was safe in their hands until the very last second. So now I keep my heart a little closer to my chest. Not locked away, but guarded. Because when I got home that night and opened the bedroom door, I didn't just catch my wife in betrayal. I caught myself in the moment I finally stopped pretending love was the same as loyalty. You've been listening to Breakup Cheater, where real emotions echo long after the last word. If this story gripped you, subscribe, share, and join us again for another night of heartbreak, secrets, and the haunting what-ifs of human connection. Until next time, keep your heart guarded and your eyes open.